At the mere mention of the civil rights movement, most of us immediately bring to mind images of Martin Luther King Jr. Though certainly a focal point of the movement, King was by no means the sole or even primary animating force of the movement. Central, though often misquoted and misunderstood, were leaders such as Malcolm X, Stokely Carmichael, and the Black Power movement they helped guide. With us today to bring more clarity to the history and contributions of the Black Power movement is Professor Peniel Joseph. I think a reasonable place to start in our conversation about Black Power is, what is Black Power?
Black Power really relates to the way Stokely Carmichael and other activists articulated it in the 1960s, is really social, political, cultural, economic self-determination on behalf of the African American community. When we think about Black Power, there are many different iterations of Black Power. So things like Black student unions, for example, the creation of Black studies departments, where you have places like Harvard University that have African American studies. This all created a landscape that provided more equality, that provided Black elected officials.
The misunderstandings surrounding the Black Power movement, they seems to have sort of two primary sources. I think one is the rhetoric and the style of members of the organization itself. Yeah. And the other could be focused on sort of the shaping and the misshaping of the media of the day.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one great anecdote is from Brian Lamb, the founder of C-SPAN. And he talks about how as a young man, he had actually gone to a church, listened to Stokely Carmichael's speech. It was a great speech. He said out of the, over a half hour of speaking, maybe 2 minutes were incendiary. And that evening on the news, all he saw was what was incendiary, what was designed to be provocative.
Let me make a jump. Speaking to Barack Obama,
yes.
Certainly his election started a conversation in America that perhaps America had reached a post-racial era.
Well, I think that was premature. Yeah. And I think that the reason it was premature, people were so happy about what a watershed election and symbolic victory that was. At that elite level, there is more access now, right? For African Americans, for women, for minorities, Latinos, Asian Americans. But in terms of racial disparities, no. In fact, what's interesting about the way we live now in 2014, there's more African American men and women in prison now than 50 years ago. What
can the white community today do to be allies to people in the Black community?
Be informed and find out why is there still racial disparity and institutional racism in the United States, and what's our recent history? And then it becomes, at the local level, reaching out to other people. I mean, at Tufts we have the Center for the Study of Race and Democracy, and we're interested in multiracial, multicultural, multi-ethnic, multi-generational dialogue.
The center is going to be hosting a dialogue?
Yeah, in September. We hosted one this past September 12th of 2013. We're going to host a second one. We had other schools join us, including Harvard's School of Public Health. We had about 400 people come to Tufts campus.
Coming out next month, as I said. You've got this, yes. Stokely, A Life. Certainly a compelling read. There's anything more that would be good for our viewers to know?
These ideas of race and democracy are very, very important, and people who are interested in that should try to connect with the center, try to read Stokely and these other books, but really think to themselves that part of being an active citizen is really understanding that relationship between race and democracy, and really race, class, and democracy, gender, sexuality in our country.
Here's hoping that every month can lead us to a rich history that instructs and nourishes us all, regardless of skin color or any other distinction. For Dr. Peniel Joseph, I'm Peter Bermudes for Arlington Public News.